I got to imagine, like, as the multiverse expands, that means sooner or later, you know you're getting a costume.
I want it so bad. I keep saying, I'm like, guys, I look dope in leather. Stop waiting.
It's weird to watch it live. It's weird and wonderful. It's like watching them do The Flash on Broadway.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We need to react to this Iris West Speedster costume, and we have some new information about the episode. We understand why she gets powers now. It's a little bit different than I thought, and I have some news about Titans, Nightwing, Batgirl. There's a bunch of stuff to react to. So there is a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is just be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Flash stuff first, then we'll talk about Titans and Nightwing. So, Flash episode 16 is called Run, Iris, Run. It's basically the Iris as a speedster episode. The premise is that the next bus meta, and I'm assuming it's the 10th meta because we meet meta number 9, and then episode 15 is the Team Up Flash Family episode. Their name is Melting Pot, and their ability is swapping powers. So during an encounter, Barry gets his powers swapped with Iris, and then before they can figure out how to reverse the process, another big problem comes up that only Iris with Barry's powers can solve, so Barry just has to coach her through that boss fight. Then eventually they figure out how to reverse the process, Barry gets his powers back, Iris goes back to being normal, so on and so forth. Now, there's obviously a whole lot of other stuff that'll be happening during the episode. I'm expecting some coffee shop girl stuff to be happening. We don't have any details about how that's going to be involved with this, but this does change a little bit about how I'm thinking about this Iris pregnancy coffee shop girl storyline. They didn't say exactly why they gave her this version of the costume. I think just because XS is an African-American female speedster in the comics, Iris West is an African-American female, so they probably just wanted to go with something familiar that also looked different from the other speedsters we've seen so far. Like, she probably doesn't fit into Barry's costume, and they have some spare parts lying around, so Cisco magics up a costume overnight. They don't have the special lightning bolt down the middle, so maybe they add that later at the end of the episode or something like that, or if it ever comes back in a future season. The bus meta isn't somebody from the comics, so I'm assuming they had the idea for the twist first, and then they just created the bus meta to fit that need. Like, they wanted to do a one-off episode where Iris West gets Flash powers, so they needed a reason for her to get those. And up to this point, my theory was that it would have something to do with her pregnancy or possible pregnancy because of what happened with Cecile, and because they've been teasing that Iris West might have been pregnant for a long time now, going all the way back to that big crossover episode.
Iris, you are literally glowing. Aww.
Oh, wait, it's pregnant women who glow. Brides blush.
Felicity says that Iris is glowing, and then Caitlin corrects her, no, pregnant ladies glow, like very obviously trying to wink at the fact that she either might become pregnant or she might be pregnant at the moment and just not realize it yet. What the writers and the producers don't always tell you, though, is when they do a lot of course correction. So they may have had the idea when they started the season to get Iris pregnant by the end of the season, and maybe they changed their minds about that and wanted to delay it just a little bit, or they wanted to change the way some of the big character twists work, because I think this all gets back to Coffee Shop Girl. People being pregnant this season, Barry and Iris getting married, the future Flash family. Like, when you talk about Flash family, obviously you have Jay Garrick and Jesse Quick coming up, but the literal Flash family in the children that Barry and Iris will eventually have. But just be prepared for them to take a couple left turns, because it is a minefield trying to do children on a TV show like this when your main actors are this young and you're still only about midway through your series run. Like, Flash goes 8 to 10 seasons, they're only about halfway right now. But it's really hard to do people like Bart Allen without explaining that Barry and Iris get married and have children. Like, you have to tease that along for people that don't read the comics. You can't just have them show up and be like, hey, I'm your grandchild. Wait a minute, when did we get married? When did we have children? When did those children have children? So they don't want to skip over too many big character moments. But again, I think the coffee shop girl will show up again. We'll get some more hints about what her backstory is and who she is specifically, even though I think they've done a good job of explaining her being part of Barry Allen and Iris's family.
Alan always pays.
Oh my god.
No worries.
But moving into Nightwing, Batgirl, DC movie territory, you may have heard Joss Whedon left the Batgirl movie. It sounds like it's indefinitely delayed. I think they still want to make one, but he basically said, it took me a couple months to realize that I didn't have a story. So there's not a lot to say about that. I feel like the internet is probably going to be fine with that. They were already upset with Joss Whedon for a number of different reasons after Justice League. That being said, now it's a little bit easier for any of the potential TV shows to use the Barbara Gordon character, which is good news for Titans because they're already doing Robin. Robin has such a close connection with Barbara Gordon in the comics. I am very hopeful that they could bring her on that show eventually. The Nightwing movie also sounds like it's going to be delayed, so Chris McKay, the person that's been directing that, is now in the running to do a Dungeons & Dragons movie, which would be released before the Nightwing movie, meaning that he would either have to quit the Nightwing movie or just put it on a shelf for a couple years and come back to it. So the early estimate right now is that the Nightwing movie won't come till 2023, which is actually good news for the Titans TV show doing Nightwing, because we pick up with that series, we know he's going to start out as Dick Grayson Robin in at least a flashback, then he'll slowly transition and take the mantle of Nightwing over the course of that series. Whether it goes 5 seasons, 7 seasons, he takes the mantle in the last couple of seasons. So the Nightwing movie isn't going to drop till they get to like season 4 of Titans, so they have plenty of time to do what they want with Nightwing. Like, you may have heard that Arrow isn't allowed to use the Deathstroke character because they're trying to develop a Deathstroke movie with Joe Manganiello. Whether or not it ever actually ends up happening in the Batman movie is obviously still a long ways off too. So just a couple of DC movies have been backburnered but not canceled. Like, they're still going to do a Batgirl movie eventually, they'll still do a Nightwing movie, but never fear because we have Titans coming, and you can do most of those characters on the Titans TV show in some form or another. But let me know in the comments, they delay that. How do you want them to use the Barbara Gordon character on Titans? Do you want her to be full-blown Batgirl? Do you want her to be in the wheelchair and be more of the Oracle character? Do you just want her to be like a Roy Harper type and show up every once in a while, or do you want her to come on full-time? Now, they got so many characters in Season 1 that I'm not expecting to see a lot of Barbara Gordon, but maybe Season 2, Season 3, like they talked about maybe doing Donna Troy. I don't think she's going to be a big thing till Season 2. Obviously, there's the question of speedsters on Titans. It's a little hard to predict where they're going without having seen any of the episodes yet. So, like I said, trailer for Titans probably won't drop till early summer, just because they're right around episode 5, episode 6 right now. There's 13 episodes total. They'll probably wait till they have most of the footage from the season done. The latest they would wait would be Comic-Con. So bare minimum, you will see Titans footage by Comic-Con, but I don't think that you'll have to wait that long. I'm working on a new Soul Gem video that should post tomorrow, but leave all your requests in the comments below. DC, Marvel, anything else. I also just saw some really cool news about the Deadpool TV series, so I might do a video about that too. But just a reminder that all the TV shows are coming back next week, so everything, including Wally West on Legends, is back next week. I'll name that new giveaway winner when I post new DC, so click here for my Black Panther 2 video, learn all about Marvel Phase 4, and click here for all my Black Panther Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everybody stay awesome, I'll see you guys tonight.